questions, and I have something to say about the most underrepresented and underserved startup group in Oregon. And my take on it might surprise you. I'll get to that a little bit later. But first, quickly, to de-stress you on holiday gifting. If you are watching this on Friday or Saturday, it is, or even Sunday morning, still give you time. It is My People's Market weekend, the big holiday My People's Market. These occur regularly throughout the year, but the holiday one is always the biggest and most festive one. So if you're on the lookout for gifts, there's a unique selection of gifts at My People's Market, all local makers, all BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. And I believe they're also having LGBTQIA plus vendors this year, if I remember correctly. So a diverse wealth of gift options for you to give to your family and friends, and quickly wrap up all that stressful gift giving. My People's Market, Oregon Convention Center. I may see you there this weekend, so please try and make it down there. I was just thumbing through Blue Sky before I jumped on here, and our friend Jason Langsdorff over at Code TV, he's throwing together, just to get together, lower the stress, no pressure, no pitches, no nothing, just get a bunch of people together around food and friends. And so I will link that up if you're interested in hanging out with Jason and the other people who show up. He's got a great channel full of content by developers for developers, and I'm always entertained by the stuff they do. And Jason is just a gregarious, kind person if you get the chance to meet him in person as well. So if that sounds appealing to you, please take Jason up on his invite to go eat with a bunch of other people in town. And then, of course, I realize this is stressful, but this is to help you de-stress. The Oregon AI Accelerator application is due December 15th. That's really far away. If you start on it today and only work on it for 10 minutes today and maybe 5 minutes tomorrow and then 10 minutes the next day, you'll probably be done with it. So I'm just giving you permission to start. And before you know it, you'll be done. And you'll be done way ahead of the deadline. So Oregon AI Accelerator, the inaugural class of Oregon AI companies, hopefully all Oregon AI companies, but they're allowed to take a few from outside of Oregon. So who knows what the actual mix is going to look like, but I would love to see all Oregon companies in the Oregon AI Accelerator. So if that's of interest to you, of course, I'll link it up. Get your applications in. December 15th is the deadline. I doubt they're extending it. They got stuff to do. They've already published the schedule. They got to pick people and make sure they're in the cohort and make sure all that stuff is done. So December 15th, Oregon AI Accelerator. I am clapping at you to get it done. Okay, big news this week. Everybody's talking about the governor's new Oregon Prosperity Plan. What is it? Who knows? Does it contribute, collaborate with, replace the Oregon Innovation Plan, the 10-year Oregon Innovation Plan, into which we are only about halfway, even though we spent a ton of time figuring out that plan that was supposed to, create a groundswell of innovation in Oregon and create the infrastructure to support that innovation. I wrote about that quite a while ago, obviously about 5 years ago, but that's a plan that we had all been kind of paying attention to. And now there's this Oregon Prosperity Plan. It's so thrilling that I'm losing my voice just talking about it. But the thing is, I don't even really know what it is. Now, there's a big gathering next week, which I can't remember the name of, but it's basically everybody gets together from Oregon, like a bunch of support organizations, business support organizations, entrepreneur support organizations, people from throughout the state. They all get together, they dress up in suits and hang out at an event all day and hear people present. I think Mike Thielen, I remember, might be speaking, and then of course politicians speak and other people. Just it's kind of to give you the state of the state when it comes to business. I really wish I could remember the name of it. Maybe I'll just put it down here on the screen somewhere if I actually look up the name of what I'm talking about. I've been once, and I actually dressed up for it, but I'm not going this year. I think I'll tune in to the live stream and I can link that up as well. Anyway, I digress. What is this Oregon Prosperity Plan? I don't know, but that's not going to prevent me from kind of popping off about it, because you know me, like I have some opinions on things and stuff. So like I have questions about it, but I also, this is a time when folks feel the need to rally behind things that are positive and optimistic about Oregon. And I'm no different, but I'm also tentatively optimistic about it, I think is the best way to put it. I'm cautiously optimistic is probably an even better way to put it, that I'm just not quite sure what this is or what it's designed to do. Governor Kotek, if you would like to come on and talk with me about the Oregon Prosperity Plan and some of your thoughts and strategy behind it, I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you, and I'm sure the folks here would love to hear from you as well. So just open invitation, no obligation, don't stress about it. But if something like that would be valuable, I know it would be educational for me. So selfishly, consider it an open invitation. All those things being what they are, our friend Malia Spencer at Portland Business Journal took the opportunity to reach out to a bunch of folks and to get their take or comments on what this Oregon Prosperity Plan means to them, what they would like to see, what they are hoping it helps support, maybe some opportunities for Oregon prosperity. And so I'm going to read you the list of folks who they talked to. And among those folks was actually me. Like Malia actually was kind enough to reach out to me, and I didn't really know what to say, but I did come up with a quote, and I'll give you what I said as well. So Malia Spencer, Portland Business Journal, I will link it up. These are the folks she had the opportunity to talk to: Better Portland, Built Oregon, Greater Portland Inc., Oregon Entrepreneurs Network, OMEP, which is a manufacturing, I can't remember it. I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but I always refer to it as OMEP. I've never actually even said the full name. Oregon Business and Industry, and of course the Portland Metro Chamber, which is our large chamber of commerce here for the Portland area. All of them had a comment, as did current Oregon Senator and gubernatorial candidate Christine Drazen. So all these people, great quotes from all of them, great ideas, great thoughts, some criticism, some not cynicism, but just questions from folks. And then there's me, as usual, setting the low bar for all the other people who are talking. But what I really wanted to hone in on, the point I wanted to get across, is there is one group of entrepreneurs, there's one group of startup companies with the potential in the traded sector world to really grow our economy, employ people throughout the state, and truly be an accessible form of entrepreneurship and building startups that don't require you to be in a metropolitan area. You could do this from a rural area. You could do it from practically anywhere. And the infrastructure kind of already exists to support these folks in doing what they want to do. Who do you think that is? I'll give you a hint. It's not tech. It's not tech that's the most underrepresented and underserved. I know I've worked in tech for a long time, long time, and I love tech. And if you're a tech startup founder, you know how much I love what you're working on. But fact of the matter is, even if you feel like you don't have the support you need, you don't have the infrastructure you need, you don't have the community you need, there is one particular group of entrepreneurs and founders that are far worse off than you, and that is what I'm going to explain to you here. Here's what I had to say. I've been working with venture-funded tech startups in Oregon for 30 years, and I always want to champion those companies. But if I'm being completely honest, the most underserved, undercapitalized, and underappreciated sector with the most potential for widespread positive impact throughout the state is food and beverage. Oregonians have a rich history of bringing a fresh perspective to even the most rudimentary of staples, from cheese to coffee to potato salad. And those unique takes on what we choose to eat and drink have appeal far beyond the borders of Oregon. They have national and often global appeal, just like our footwear and apparel companies do. Not only that, food and beverage is approachable and personal and accessible to Oregonians throughout the state, with infrastructure like farmers markets to test those ideas and local chains like Market of Choice to enable them to explore retail and distribution. We're really missing an opportunity that has been staring us in the face for decades. So that was my take on it, and that's very much my Built Oregon hat that I'm wearing when I'm saying that. Co-founder of Built Oregon with Mitch Doherty. And Mitch just hammered this into me over time. I used to be so focused on tech. And, over time, Mitch just kept chipping away at me. And he's like, food and beverage, apparel, footwear. And now, I kind of sing the same song. It's that we have more knowledge, talent, and innovation in consumer products in Oregon than practically anywhere else on Earth. More knowledge per capita, per square mile, however you want to measure it. Oregon, in Mitch's words, is the Silicon Valley of consumer products. And the state needs to step up, recognize that, and invest in that. Tech is great. Tech is a shiny object. Tech gets a lot of attention, but it's not the thing that's going to save Oregon. It can be a nice thing to have. It can be an additional thing to have. We can still have an amazing tech startup community without the support of the state. We can do it on our own, but food and beverage needs more infrastructure, needs more state support, needs more ways of collaborating and co-packing and sharing and selling to really help those entrepreneurs build startup venture scale companies. So that's my take. If the state's going to do anything, it should do it around food and beverage, and it should do it fast, because that is the clearest path to generating revenue, to generating employment, and to creating brands that Oregon will be recognized for in the future. Just like Tillamook, just like Reese's, just like the thousands of coffee brands and the thousands of beer brands, food and beverage has a ton of potential here. Tofurkey is an Oregon company. You just got through Thanksgiving. If you had a vegan relative, they probably had some Tofurkey. They have Tofurkey around the world. That is the kind of potential we have here, and I would like to see it realized, recognized, and supported by the state of Oregon. So that's my soapbox. I mean, you may have just clicked through and skipped the whole thing, but if you have a differing opinion, if you think I'm off base, I would love to hear it, but I'm also willing to argue on behalf of all the amazing food and beverage founders that I know, because they're doing amazing work and we're missing an opportunity here, and we need to get serious about it, and we need to invest in it, because that will actually save our state, and anyone in the state can participate. They don't need the resources that an urban environment may have. They don't need a wealth of capital to bring this to fruition. They just need to focus and support food and beverage. Okay? All right, I'm done. Let's move on to different kinds of startups. I wanted to remind you that Demolicious Champion of Champions is coming up, not this week, but the following week. So December 16th, I believe the date is. It's the Tuesday. I'm going to be there. There are going to be 10 startups there taking the stage. Each of those startups has won at least one of the monthly Demolicious gatherings. And I think, well, obviously one company may have won a couple times, because we only have 10 companies and there are 11 months. And then this is the 12th month. So, I math real good. And that seems to be what the case was. I seem to remember somebody winning twice. I could be wrong, but that's what I seem to remember. Anyway, you need to show up. at the Mission Theater on December 16th to help celebrate these founders. It's the champion of champions. It's the best of the best. And whoever wins this pitch competition, they pitch. And then we as the crowd get to vote. I can never vote. I can't pick a favorite. I love all of them. And I love the founders for having the bravery to get up on stage and tell the story about what they're building. So like, I can't vote, but you can. And so the crowd will vote. We'll pick a winner. We'll have the Demolicious champion of champions, and they will get to take home the big old Demolicious title belt. And I'll tell you what, just to sweeten the pot a little bit, it's not going to be a very big sweeten the pot, but I still have some stickers left. I still have some. Hopefully the camera is focusing. I still have some of these stickers left. And so I will bring a stack of those stickers. And if you see me at Demolicious Champion of Champions and you want a sticker, just hit me up. I'll give you a sticker. And and then we'll be friends. And then you can put the sticker on your water bottle or your laptop or your fridge, whatever you want. Wherever you put stickers, please feel free to put that sticker up. But I hope to see you there. Demolicious Champion of Champions is the second one. The first one was a huge success. I don't expect this one to be any different. And plus, it's the Mission. It's McMenamin's Mission Theater. It's a great theater. It's very chill, good environment, good energy, good beer, good snacky food, pubby food stuff. So what's not to like? It's a great way to celebrate the holiday season with all your startup friends, and you get entertained. So, I will see you there. Come get a sticker. Ask me about a sticker. I'm happy to give you one. Okay, cool. Demolicious Champion of Champions, December 16th. I sincerely hope that's the date because that's when I'm planning to show up. I hope I remembered it correctly. Okay, a couple of interesting posts this week. One felt really clickbaity and was getting a lot of energy, both in Seattle, which the post is about, but throughout the Pacific Northwest and throughout the U.S. I saw it popping up everywhere. The post is titled, "Seattle Hates AI." What is my voice doing? Seattle hates AI. And it's basically this kind of walk the story of a founder who is demoing his AI product to people in Seattle, and they're just kind of turning their nose up on it or like not paying attention. They're like being like, AI sucks. So it's the journey of one person through the Seattle tech startup scene. But, the conclusion is Seattle hates AI. Is that true? I don't know. I know there are a lot of people working on AI stuff around there. I know there are a lot of people in Seattle who love AI. We have a Pi alum who's an AI alum in Seattle, empathic, that is doing really well and seems to love AI. So from my perspective, Seattle doesn't hate AI, but this was this person's lived experience, and they took the opportunity to tell us about that experience. So if you're curious about their take and the feedback on an AI startup that he was pitching around Seattle, I'll link that up so you can read that. The other one that I really appreciated was one from Britney Elland here in Portland. She works for GitHub. She helps host the Overcommitted podcast, of which I have been a guest. And apparently I said something that was actually relevant and worthwhile alongside a bunch of other amazing people that she had talked to, because it inspired her to really rethink why she builds products, and that you should really take the opportunity to build products just because you can, not because they're a business or not because you want to build a startup, but just because you want that product to exist, just because you want to build the thing you want to see in the world. And I felt like this summary really encapsulated the benefit of this post. I encourage everyone to read it, whether you're a founder or somebody who's just tinkering around or a hobbyist. Like, you don't always have to build a business. You can sometimes just build a product and that product can exist. You know, we used to have these things called hobbies where you did things because they were entertaining, not because they were a business. And I would love to see more people getting back to hobbies and back to building things for the joy and craft of building them, either with technology or otherwise, because I think that's super important. And I think it's a good outlet, and I think it helps you, and I think it helps you emotionally and mentally and all these other things. So listen to Britney, go read the post. Here's what she has to say. For most of my career, I've been confusing building products with building businesses, and that confusion kept me from pursuing a lot of ideas. 2 weeks off helped me realize that not everything needs to be a startup, and some of the best things we build are the ones we build just because we want them to exist. You got the holidays coming up. You're going to have some free time, hopefully some quiet time, hopefully some downtime. Maybe take that downtime to just build something just for the heck of it. Just vibe code something or do something, record a YouTube video or like write a poem. I don't care. Draw a picture, make a card. Just do something because you want to do it, not because it's a business opportunity. Throw a pot, cook some food, do something creative for you, because you deserve it. And you don't always need to be pursuing the startup hustle porn. You can just do things because you want to do them, because you want to build them, because you want a product to exist. Okay? Okay, please do that. I would appreciate it. Heck, just make a drink, make a cocktail. That's a creative pursuit. Just do that. Super easy. Just do something. Follow Britney's advice. Read Britney's post. Make something just for the sake of making it over this holiday season. Before 2026, I want you to make something, please. I want you to, please. That's your pre-New Year's resolution, is that you're going to make something, and you might not even show it to anybody, but you're going to make it. Okay, speaking of holidays, this is the time of year when, lots of holiday parties going on and like gatherings and people, we got the Champion of Champions thing, lots of other gatherings. Like, I've seen Better Portland doing some stuff. I obviously see a lot of the tech groups doing their holiday gatherings. How will you have something interesting to say? How will you be the life of the party with all your wit and trivial knowledge about the world of technology and startups? Well, every day I try and capture a bunch of links from around the internet about interesting things going on in the world of startups and tech. Sometimes they're local, sometimes they're elsewhere, but they're always interesting. Like today, I captured the Netflix acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery because that seemed interesting. It seemed like something people should pay attention to because Netflix is a form of entertainment in which a lot of us imbibe. So the stuff like that, random stuff, good posts, stuff to make you think, stuff that you can share with other people. Every single day on Silicon Florist, it's the Silicon Florist links arrangement. Some days there are 5 posts. Some days there are like 20 links I share. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just read stuff like, hey, you might like that one. So I put it in the links roundup and kind of share it out every day. And it comes out in the newsletter too. So if you don't want to pay attention to my blog, subscribe to the newsletter and just get it that way. I don't care. I just want you to have it. I just want you. You're already interesting. All right. I didn't mean to imply you're not interesting. I'm just saying you'll be even more interesting. You'll be exceptionally more interesting, exponentially more interesting if you have access to all these links. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to help you out. Just trying to make you look cool in front of your friends. Okay. So please check out Silicon Florist links arrangement. All right, that's a wrap. This feels like a long episode. I was very ranty. Tonight I'm having a bubbly, not sponsored, or Bublé, if you like Michael Bublé, as many people do this time of year, because he's like the Mariah Carey of Christmas music. Well, I guess Mariah Carey is the Mariah Carey of Christmas music. Anyway, now's the time where I go off the rails. Share a few secrets with you, relax my posture, make my chair squeak, all those good things is what I do at this point in the show. So let's see. I talked with a few founders this week, had a bunch of meetings, got invited to some like strategy planning things. And I have another one of those next week. And then there's some other get-togethers happening before the holidays. Lots of activity, like not really slowing down. And that's why I wanted to base this on kind of de-stressing, because like I'm feeling pretty stressed, as like not in a bad way. Like I like stress to some extent. Like it's a really motivating factor, but my cortisol levels are probably topping out. So I need to do something to mitigate that stress as well, which is why I'll be going to Demolicious Champion of Champions and hanging out with you as just a member of the audience to hang out and have fun and watch people pitch. Okay? So show up to that, like I said. This week, Thanksgiving was just last week. I cannot even believe it. It seems like it was a month ago with this week. This week was so long and crazy. But this week was, Giving Tuesday and Small Business Saturday and Cyber Monday and whatever Sunday is and Black Friday and all those things. And so I was feeling a little left out, and I was like, I want to participate in Cyber Monday. And so I did a few things that are discounted. One's discounted through the end of the year. The other's kind of like on perma discount, but if it's valuable to you, I would encourage you to take advantage of it. One is I have a Patreon. I don't talk about it a lot, but it really is where I kind of aggregate a lot of the content that I produce, as well as like some extra special stuff for folks there who are patrons of mine on Patreon. Try and help them out. Anyway, I discounted the price for the rest of the year. It's like, I don't know, 75% off. And I think the annual stuff is already like, you get a discount for buying annual. And I think if you use the code that I will provide at the bottom of this thing down in the comments, or maybe I'll do it right here. Maybe I'll do something right here where you have the code on the Patreon. You will get 50%, 75% off of that. I don't know. I think I figured it out. It's like $1.50 or something for a year of supporting me and the work I do on Patreon. You can say I'm a patron of Rick Turoczy, like you were part of the, Medici group as patrons or whatever, or whoever gave money to Van Gogh. I don't know. Whatever. Like, if you want to do that, great. I would love to have you there. It's a really easy way to communicate with me, and it's kind of centralized. So that's one, Patreon. And if you don't want to pay, just show up there. I've got a free tier. You get most all the stuff on the free tier. You don't even have to pay. Just get on Patreon so that I can stay in touch with you more effectively. That's all I'm asking. I miss you. I miss chatting with you. I would love to have you more involved in stuff and things, and I would like to be able to share stuff with you and only you and the other patrons. But you have to be on Patreon to make that happen, so I discounted it. So Cyber Monday deal through the end of the year. It's ridiculously % off. I don't even know how much, but it's like literally less than a cup of coffee in 1985 for a year of Patreon and having to deal with me on Patreon for a year. So everything has pros and cons. It is what it is. So there's that. And the other thing is I kind of feel like there's all these layoffs going on, but then I also see a bunch of people hiring. And so I just, want to remind folks that there is a job board on Silicon Florist, and I didn't want to make it oppressive or like have too much friction there. So I dropped the prices way down on that. Probably permanently. Like that's never, it's really, I charge for it because the service I use to produce the job board costs me money. So I charge money to basically zero out on that. So that's the reason I charge. If you have jobs, if you're hiring, there's like a short-term one that's like $5 or something. And then there's the usual post, which stays up 45 days. And that's maybe like $20 or something. And I've done away with all the packages and all that kind of stuff. But if you are somebody who has multiple jobs, if you're like, I want 10 jobs, then just hit me up and we'll figure it out. And I'll make sure you get that. But so those are my 2 Cyber Monday discounts. What else is going on? Released a couple more conversations with founders, people from our startup community this week. So if those are interesting to you and you enjoy those, those are available as a completely separate podcast or a completely separate playlist on here. I don't really cloud the weekly news stuff with that. So I try to kind of separate the streams so that you can pay attention to what you want to pay attention to and have access to that. So that's called Startup Stories with Silicon Florist. Of course, we'll link it up and make sure you have access to that, and feel free to subscribe. I'm kind of putting out about 2 a week, trying to keep rolling on interviews throughout the holiday season. So I'll keep 2 a week or so going as long as I can. And if you are a founder who would like to talk to me, who would like to share what you're building with the community and with folks who listen here, then please hit me up. I'll link that up below so you can do that. Or it's just, there's a short link and that will give you all the context you need, as well as an opportunity to submit your application to be interviewed. So there's all that. I hope you're not as stressed about the holidays as I am. Go to My People's Market. Lots of great gifts there, lots of great vendors, lots of amazing people, lots of food and beverage companies. Like I talked about, I'm just saying, food and beverage needs support. So go to My People's Market, go hang out there. There's also entertainment and like food carts and like there's all kinds of, it's just great. Shauna does such a great job on My People's Market. We're really lucky to have her working on it, and all the people are always in, like, it's a really joyous, like both the people who attend, but also the vendors who are there. It's just it's a celebration of our community that you shouldn't miss. So My People's Market this weekend, which is December 6th and 7th. I cheated because I looked at my computer and I could do the math to say Saturday and Sunday are December 6th and 7th. Only other thing I'll mention is like next week is somewhat infamous for being the last week of major funding announcements. So I'm hoping there'll be some big like VC news next week. Hopefully locally. I can tell you there definitely will be nationally and internationally. It's just always the way it is, because then, after mid-December, most VCs go to, Ibiza or, Saint-Tropez or the Maldives or wherever for a few more, Vail, Sun Valley, if they like the cold and the skiing stuff. But they disappear for about a month before the stuff picks up again, and they deserve it. I mean, they work hard. I'm not casting aspersions. I'm just saying the industry goes quiet. The whole tech industry goes quiet from the holiday-ish mid-December through mid-January. So next week, hopefully we'll hear some big news from hopefully local companies, and I'll be on top of it, but just be prepared for an onslaught of funding announcements, because that's generally what happens next week. Okay. Hope to see you at My People's Market. Hope to see you at Demolicious. We've still got some time on Demolicious, but still, I'm going to keep harping on it. I hope this information lowered your stress and you're feeling happier about the holiday season. I still have to do my Startup Santa stuff to give you some more gift ideas. Can't forget to do that because people hated that so much. All right. I hope you're hanging in there. Take it easy if you can. De-stress if you can. And until we get the chance to chat again, please keep up the good work.